All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Laura Dudley, and I'm an associate clinical professor here at Northeastern. I teach mindfulness classes as well as classes in behavior analysis in the applied psychology department. And I'm also pleased to be a Mellow, which is shorthand for Mindfulness Fellow, as well as a yoga affiliate for the Center for Spirituality, Dialogue, and Service. So I'm so pleased that you are joining for today's meditation. We're going to go ahead and get started. So to begin, I invite you to come into a comfortable seat. And that can be a comfortable cross-legged position, or maybe you're sitting in a chair with your feet flat on the floor. And if it's comfortable for you, you can allow the eyes to close. Or maybe the eyes are slightly open with a soft gaze somewhere in front of you. And so we'll start by reviewing the 4 basic steps to meditation. We begin by arranging our bodies for meditation. And then we can set an intention for our practice. And then we meditate. And then when we finish, we can return back to that intention that we set at the beginning of our meditation. Sometimes we might send the merits of our meditation out to someone. And so now that we've reviewed the 4 basic steps, we'll begin our shamatha meditation, also referred to as calm abiding. And in our calm abiding meditation, we will use the breath as a single point of focus to help ground us in this moment and to help calm the mind. And so to arrange the body, we come into that either comfortable cross-legged position, or we can sit in a chair with our feet flat on the floor. And if you're sitting cross-legged, sometimes it's helpful to place a cushion underneath the hips so that the hips are elevated above the knees. The hands can rest comfortably in the lap, with the right hand on top of the left, and the thumbs can gently touch. We'll bring length to the spine and allow the shoulders to relax down the back. The chin is slightly tucked, bringing just a little more length to the back of the neck. And the tongue can rest comfortably behind the front teeth, which has a bit of a pacifying effect. You might bring your awareness to the crown of the head. Imagine that the crown of the head is pulling you up in your seat, bringing just a little more length to the spine. And then finally, you might scan your body, just noticing if there are any areas where you're tensing your muscles, maybe without even realizing it. Sometimes we clench the muscles behind the eyes or in the jaw. So take a moment to notice if there are any areas where you're holding on to tension and try to let that tension go. Together, we'll engage in a breathing exercise to help us find our breath, which we can then use as a point of focus for our meditation. And so today's breathing exercise is a breath of equal duration. I'll count to 3 as you breathe in And then we'll pause at the top of the breath for the count of 3. And then I'll count down from 3 as you let the breath out. And we'll start there. So to begin, we'll inhale to the count of 1, 2, 3, and then hold the breath for 1, 2, 3, and then let the breath go for 3, 2, 1. And then you can take a deep breath in and let the breath go. We'll do that again, breathing into the count of 1, 2, 3, and then holding for 1, 2, 3, and then we let the breath go to 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in and let the breath go. One more like that, breathing into the count of 1, 2, 3, holding for 1, 2, 3, breathing out to 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in and then let the breath go. You can allow your breath to return now to its normal rate and rhythm. Noticing any physical sensations you might be experiencing as a result of the breath of equal duration. And now that we have found the breath, we can use the breath as our point of focus. Simply noticing each inhale and each exhale. And if you notice that your thoughts are taking you out of this moment, taking you away from the breath, simply notice that that's the case, and then turn your awareness back to the breath. You might notice the feeling of the air as it enters through the nostril. You might notice there's a coolness, the temperature of the air. You might notice the feeling of the air as it exits through the nostril. Maybe there's a warmth to the air. Maybe other physical sensations that you notice as you breathe in and out. Maybe you notice the rise and fall of the chest, the expanding and the contracting of the belly. If you notice that tension has crept back into your body, if you notice that you're clenching muscles, notice that that's the case, and then try to soften those muscles, returning your focus back to the breath. You might imagine that any thoughts that are entering your mind are like the clouds in the sky that are passing through. We don't need to attach ourselves to those thoughts. We can simply notice them and then return our focus to the breath. And as we follow the breath, we're not trying to control the breath, but to simply notice it, noticing each inhale and each exhale. Oftentimes, a state of mind is compared to a body of water. And so, if you find that your mind is racing with thoughts, you might imagine that the thoughts are like a river, and you can sit on the riverbank and simply observe the thoughts without getting swept up in them, gently guiding your mind back to the breath. And if you find it challenging to simply follow the breath, then in these next few minutes of meditation, these final minutes of meditation, you might choose to count your breaths, helping to remain fully present. simply counting each in breath and each out breath until you reach 10, and then you can start over again at 1. Any physical sensations, any sounds, any smells, they all become part of the meditation. And we can notice them without judging them as good or bad. Simply noticing the quality of these sensations. Always returning our focus back to the breath. invite you to bring back to mind the intention that you set at the beginning of your meditation. Maybe there's even someone you'd like to dedicate the merits of your meditation to. That person could be you or someone else. So you might bring that to mind now. And we can start to bring some small movements back into our body as we return to the space that we're in. So thank you so much for joining me for meditation today. I hope you have a great day and I hope to see you soon.